And welcome to Mile High San Diego. Now we look at the Chargers on offense as their 7-year veteran Phillip Rivers, one of the great players in the game, comes out to lead the way. Almost 4,400 yards so far this year, 30 touchdowns. He's been playing from behind a lot because the Chargers have not started fast.
And Don, no player in the NFL, I don't think, has been forced to carry his team, carry the load more than Phillip Rivers, and what an unbelievable job he's done.
He's done a tremendous job. Now from the 32, Chargers on the first play from scrimmage go to the run. And they break it out to the 45-yard line, a gain of 8 yards on the play. Mario Hagan makes the stop on the play. Ryan Matthews getting a lot of carries today as we look at Dielman, the left guard in the Chargers offensive front. He is a Pro Bowl player. Vincent Jackson back in form, missed almost 12 complete games for various reasons. But he is a player that can really ignite an offense. A big play receiver now on a 2nd and short. Ryan Matthews gets another carry. Looks like he might have the first down, Steve, as we look at the defense. Jamal Williams, he was a 12-year San Diego Chargers. 3 times a Pro Bowl player for the Bolts. Linebacker core for the Broncos, DJ Williams, their leading tackler. 116 tackles. He also has 3.5 sacks. And in the secondary today, Harris Cox will start for Champ Bailey, who is not active for today's game, a heel injury. Now the Broncos come hitting on a first down carry. No gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Jamal Williams, the huge nose tackle, 350 pounds, makes the stop.
Yeah, 2 times All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. As you mentioned, Don, Jamal Williams trying to make a statement early. And I think the Chargers also, North Turner, this offense, making a statement. 3 carries for Ryan Matthews already. Tough sledding on the last 2, but they've come out trying to feature him. They want to get him 20-plus carries today to see how he holds up.
Yeah, they said if they can get him 20-plus, they think he'll pop a couple of big runs. The #1 draft choice out of Fresno State. He was the 12th player picked overall. We're going right back to him, Steve. Stretch play and good tackling by the Broncos. Again, no gain. Lead tackler, cornerback Andre Goodman.
And one of the things that makes Phillip Rivers so good, Don, is his ability, his overall knowledge. He lives it. He knows this offense, this system inside out. Look at him. He's very passionate, very animated all the time, but he has the freedom to change the play at any point to what he thinks is a better play. And right there, not a good decision. That was a nice tackle on the outside by Goodman, as you said.
And now, Steve, Darren Sproles comes in, a good pass catcher in numbers. He's the #1 receiver, 57 catches. Standing next to Rivers on 3rd and 10. Rivers is hit. He's down. Big play by the Broncos D, and the Chargers have to punt.
And that was Brian Dawkins, the 15-year veteran safety coming off the edge. One of only 4 players in history to have over 30 interceptions and 20 sacks right there coming off the edge. Phillip Rivers did not have time to get rid of that football. Brian Dawkins makes him pay.
He makes him pay indeed, and now Cyphers is back for the Chargers to punt the ball. Eddie Royal to return it for the Broncos. Well hit. Royal to the 10. Lets it hop. It goes in for a touchback. So Tim Tebow and the Broncos will go on offense for the first time today when we come back after a 59-yard punt. 39 net on the touchback. The Broncos force the Chargers to punt on San Diego's first possession. Now it's a Broncos' turn to go from their 20. Moreno. O'Shawn Moreno. He was a 12th pick in the first round out of Georgia 2 years ago. Here's quarterback Tim Tebow, the rookie. Tebow comes in with a quarterback rating of 100. He had a complete start. That was the last week in the brought his team from behind to beat the Houston Texans, and Gary Kubiak, the coach of the Texans, said he finds ways to make plays. He finds ways to win a game. He did it to us today. Peebo, play fakes. The left-hander ready to launch. Out pattern. Comes in high and incomplete. Now we look at the Broncos on offense. Walton at center. J.D. Walton. He's got to handle a very good nose tackle, Antonio Garay of the Chargers. Skill position players. Brandon Lloyd having a phenomenal year. 72 catches, 1,375 yards. Phenomenal. 10 touchdowns.
Leading the NFL in overall yardage. First time in history could be a Bronco with that title.
Third down throw. It's a long ball. Lloyd's the intended receiver. Too much. We know one thing, Steve. Tim Tebow's got a long-range arm.
He got that ball out there, put it in a great spot. Brandon Lloyd, Ron Rivera told us, the defensive coordinator for San Diego, told us this guy goes after the football better than anybody he can think of in the league. You saw a little bump right there on Quentin Jammer, just give him that separation. And really, I'm honestly surprised that Brandon Lloyd didn't come down with that ball, because he had a chance to make that play. He was looking right back into the sun, though, Don. That might have played a factor.
That's what Ron Rivera, D coordinator for the Chargers, told us last night. He said, Lloyd, when he goes up for a ball, he usually gets it. Now the punt by Colquitt. Well hit. Backpedaling is Kaysen. Loses the gunner. He's across the 30, and he's out to the 33-yard line. So the Chargers will go on offense for a second time after a 57-yard punt and a 14-yard return. With Steve Berline, this is Don Criqui back at Denver, Colorado. The chart. Ready to go on their second possession. First and 10 at their 34. Denver's run defense has been suspect, but it's holding up pretty well, Steve.
Well, their defense in general, first drive, very impressive. They came out and made the statement on Ryan Matthews. He had 4 carries for 11 yards. Now he's had his 5th, picked up 3 there. But really, they've been penetrating, causing problems in the backfield, and the big sack by Brian Dawkins on 3rd down. This Denver defense has really played good 3rd down defense the month of December, the best in the NFL, contrary to how they played most of the season.
Well, they shut out the Texans in the 4th quarter last week, fell into 2 field goals in the second half to come from behind. Rivers feeling the heat again. Everybody wonders, with 2 teams not going to the playoffs, how ready will they be to play? Denver defense is playing like it's the Super Bowl.
Well, this is a Denver D. You see DJ Williams coming inside. Really just some confusion. Right guard Luis Vasquez turned out to help his buddy Jeremy Clary, the right tackle, and they let DJ Williams come right up the gut. That was Denver's, coming into this game, Denver only had 18 sacks on the season. The worst in the NFL. They've already got 2 today.
They do. There's a loss of 7 on the play. It's 3rd and 14. Crossing pattern. Terrific throw, but a good open field tackle. And the receiver unable to get ahead for the first down. Sproles making his 58th catch of the year.
Well, you see they flexed Darren Sproles outside there to try and get the matchup one-on-one. They had exactly what they wanted on linebacker DJ Williams. They think that Darren Sproles can beat a linebacker one-on-one. He made a nice catch, but boy, what a great tackle by DJ Williams, showing his athletic ability.
He's a former #1 draft choice out of Miami of Florida. DJ Williams. Now Cyphers with his second punt. He rockets one downfield. Eddie Royal lets it hop inside the 5 and into the end zone. Touchback, and the Broncos have the ball for a second time in this scoreless game. Four Charger losses this season can be attributed to special teams play. Dexter McCluster returned a punt for a touchdown. Chargers lost by 7 week 1. Leon Washington ripped things up. 2 kickoff returns for TDs for Seattle. Chargers lost by 7. Oakland, the same story. This time it was blocked punts. And then Nate Kading slipped and had his field goal attempt blocked. So that's the way it went so far. As Norv Turner told us last night, we've got to find a way to start fast. We haven't been able to do it.
Well, I'll tell you, you saw right there what really has been the key for the San Diego Chargers this whole season. They started themselves in that 2-5 hole, largely attributed.
Full start, number 73, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
As we see the penalty, but largely attributed to their special teams mishaps. The 4 kickoff returns, 4 kick
71
returns.
is an eligible
As we
receiver.
heard, 71 was actually the penalty right there, but the 4 kick returns for touchdowns, 5 punts blocked early in the season. It's been an absolute nightmare for North Turner and his staff. And there you see Steve Crosby, the special teams coach for San Diego, really been under a lot of fire this year.
Now the highly ranked defense of the Chargers, giving Lance Ball problems on a stretch run. Applewhite was the man who got him from the outside linebacker spot.
And there you see Tim Tebow, as you said, Don, leading that second half comeback, coming back from 17 to nothing, the largest comeback in the history of the Broncos organization in the second half. The thing I liked about it was he made some good plays standing in the pocket up the field.
He did. Here's a blitz. He dumps it off, makes a connection, plus yards and more. First down Broncos out across the 30.
That was Correll Buckhalter. He is as good as anybody in the NFL at setting up the screen pass right there. We saw at least 8 or 9 screen passes in the first half last week in the Houston Texans game. They couldn't stop, and it's almost a little shot put throw from Tim Tebow right there to put it on. Look at that, just a little push to get it to Correll Buckhalter, set up very nicely, and another big play for the Broncos.
Tim Tebow, when it comes to winning a game, he won't take no for an answer. This guy is a career winner. Now, long ball, incomplete to the clock, picked off. It is a live play on a great play by the Chargers. Eric Weddle makes the pick. A guy, team leader's having his best season.
Well, Don, I will tell you, this is a play that Ron Rivera, defensive coordinator for San Diego, said he expected the opening play of the game. They were ready for it.
They were really ready. So far, the Chargers have tried 3 pass plays, and 2 times Rivers has been sacked to the 3. No score. On 1st and 10, Rivers gets time, and there goes the long ball. Nene broken up at the 14-yard line. Harris Cox, the rookie, was the target, and he made the play.
Don, let's go back and look at that interception. A little bit of a rookie mistake for Tim Tebow. You're going to see Brandon Lloyd shooting down the seam right there, but he doesn't see the backside safety right there. That's Steve Gregory, wide, reading the play, knowing that there's no threat to his side of the field. He sees Brandon Lloyd coming the whole way, kind of baits Tim Tebow into that throw. Tim Tebow thought that Brandon Lloyd was going to be running across the field wide open. Very well played by Steve Gregory and Eric Weddle, who came down with the interception.
We were told the Chargers thought they could hit some crossing patterns. Check down to the runner. And Matthews does a great job getting it down to the 41-yard line of the Broncos. 16 yards, Steve.
Nice run right there. That's what North Turner and his coaching staff have been waiting to see out of Ryan Matthews all year. He's been fighting that high ankle sprain, has not been healthy all year. Still not healthy really at this point, but healthy enough to really be featured today, especially with the loss of Mike Tolbert, who's been really carrying the load for North Turner this year. But they are very excited about Ryan Matthews. Just disappointed. Another one of the many disappointments San Diego has coming out of this season because they didn't get to show as much as they wanted to of him.
The nagging injuries, he is looking good today, though. Drive to the 40. North Turner told us that they'd hoped by this point in the season, between running and receiving, Matthews would have 300 touches by this point. He's only been in for 300 total plays.
Yeah, that's really about probably half the number of plays that North Turner would have liked to have had Ryan Matthews out there for. Ryan Matthews has been very openly stated that he's disappointed as well because he wanted to have a positive impact on this offensive team this year, but his injury just did not allow that to happen.
2nd and 8. Rivers from the shotgun, open backfield as he spreads the field. Blitz. Almost a pick at the 31-yard line. Jackson was the target, but good defensive play.
Well, I'll tell you, I like what Don Martindale is doing defensively. North Turner said he's a hard guy to figure out, sometimes a little bit unsound, but he does some different things. You're going to see the pressure. Mario Hagan coming off the edge. That was also Wesley Woodyard coming up the middle. Phillip Rivers seen a lot of different looks today. Not generic type of looks, more exotic type stuff. And the thing that Don Martindale's got to be aware of is that Norv Turner's as good as any coach in the NFL is adjusting to what a defense is doing.
That's 2 yards now from 3rd and 8. Fastball picked off, and the Broncos are running. A tremendous play, picked off on the play by Ronaldo Hill. A safety coming up. Broke on the ball as soon as it left Rivers' hands. Almost a room service interception the way it worked out.
Well, Phillip Rivers does not make many mistakes. He's a very efficient quarterback on the year. 30 touchdowns, only 12 interceptions before that one. But right there, Ronaldo Hill just kind of baits him into that throw over the middle. He was trying to hit Malcolm Floyd down the middle. Just a complete misread right there by Phillip Rivers, and a nice play by Ronaldo Hill. Timed it just perfectly and then knew exactly what to do with it. Get it to the sideline.
That was a huge play by Hill. And now Tebow and the Broncos start with very good field position, almost to the 40-yard line of the Chargers. Run gets some by Marino. 5'11", 210-pound back, came in with 169 carries, 738 in yardage, 4.2 a carry.
Fighting a rib injury situation, as you see Ronaldo Hill right there. Sean Moreno kind of questionable this week. Coach Eric Studesville told us he wasn't sure how much he was going to be able to get out of Sean Moreno this week, but so far looking good.
Yeah, he's been in there just about every snap. Tebow out at him, great catch, a one-handed snag for a first down. Down to the 26-yard line. Jabbar Gaffney puts a hook out. It brings it in, a 12-yard gain.
Well, Don, you remember last week the shot Jabbar Gaffney took on a play just like this. Right here, not afraid. What an incredible one-handed grab right there to pull it in, keep his focus and know what to do with it. This is one of the things that the Broncos under Mike McCoy, offensive coordinator now for the Denver Broncos, have really taken advantage of with Tim Tebow, trying to get the ball out of his hands quickly to his receivers on the outside screen passes.
Another quick out ball is dropped. Is that a backward pass? They ruled it as not. Incomplete pass. Backwards, it was a live ball.
Very close to it, and that's Daniel Graham that dropped that one. Eric Studesville telling us as we met with him the other day, very happy with the development of Tim Tebow. Still trying to figure out exactly what it is that he does best, but they really do like the way, and he had a lot of experience in that spread offense in Florida, throwing those quick bubble screens. That's one way to really use his quick delivery, get that ball out of there on those shorter throws.
Run play, good blocking from the right side. Last week, Tebow connected on a bunch of screen and swing passes early, and he aired it out for long strikes late in the game.
You just see, you know, they ran the conventional screens, they ran the bubble screens, they did everything. But now, the one thing that's going to happen, and he also did right there the big play. That's what I liked in the second half. I saw him step up in the pocket and hit Jabbar Gaffney down the field right there. A great play by Brandon Lloyd going up and ripping the ball away. But the screen passes allowed Tebow to kind of get in the flow. Easy completions, get his confidence up.
Here's a blitz on 3rd down and 8, and Tebow with his head down takes it to the 14-yard line. First down Broncos, a 10-yard run on 3rd and 8.
Now this part of the field is where Tebow is so dangerous running the football. We saw him at the University of Florida running those off-tackle plays inside. Not going to really live by that mantra too much.
Is an eligible receiver. 71 is eligible.
We've got 71, Russ Huckstein, eligible receiver on this play.
In yardage allowed, Chargers have the #1 defense in the league. Tebow buys time, end zone, open receiver, touchdown Broncos. Brandon Lloyd, his 11th touchdown reception of the year.
Well, that's just a complete busted assignment by the San Diego Chargers secondary. No reason why Brandon Lloyd should be coming across the field that open. A fake counter play, really good counter action. That's what pulled everybody, linebackers and safeties, up to defend against the run. That allowed Brandon Lloyd to slip in the slot all the way across the field for the easy touchdown.
Steve Hauschka, the point after. And the Broncos, underdog on their home field, take a 7-0 lead as they go 40 yards in 6 plays. The interception by Ronaldo Hill set up the possession. And then 6 plays later, Tim Tebow hits Lloyd in the end zone, a 14-yard scoring play, and the Broncos are in the lead.
Well, to this point, Don, you've got to think that Denver has come out ready to play this football game. San Diego, in their first game in many years, really not playing for anything.
Yeah, they've won the division the last 4 years. Sproles looking good out to the 25-yard line. The biggest event of the new year begins with a single step. Join Paula Abdul for the premiere of Live to Dance, Tuesday, only CBS. You're a dancing man, Steve. You'll be good.
I'd tear up that dance floor, man. I'll tell you. Quite legendary.
I'm like Jim Levy, 2 left feet.
I've got 3 left feet.
Now the Chargers go in the shotgun formation. Wide receivers to either side on a 1st and 10. We've got to find a way to start fast, Norv Turner says. And again today, they've not done it. Matthews. Textbook hit by Parrish Cox, the rookie corner from Oklahoma State, starting for Champ Bailey.
Right now we're seeing a Denver defensive team highly motivated, coming out strong against a very good, one of the very best offenses, 2nd in overall total offense in the NFL. The San Diego Chargers team, we talked about whether they would be motivated this week to come out. They're not used to playing week 17 for nothing.
Well, Norv Turner said he's never been involved in a meaningless game. And really, Philip Rivers echoed that.
Sure did.
He said, we want to finish 9-7, even if we're not going to the playoffs. Handoff, and Matthews, yards coming grudgingly against a Bronco defense. It's given up a ton of yards this year, but they've tightened up the last couple of weeks.
They sure have. And on that note, though, talking about Philip Rivers, Don, his quote this week was, I don't believe we are heading into a meaningless game. It means something to play games in this league, and I appreciate every opportunity I get. And you see San Diego, the graphic right there, how explosive they are. But Philip Rivers came out and said, we want to win, I want to play, and I expect him to get his teammates fired up and playing more inspired as this game goes along.
3rd and 7. Chargers are 0 for 3 on previous 3rd down tries. Blitzers. Good pickup. Good throw. 1st down San Diego out to the 43. Terrific football. Big Kelly Washington. A check down receiver on a crossing pattern ahead for 16.
Well, very creative defensive scheme there again by Don Martindale, but this time San Diego's ready to pick it up. And there you saw Kelly Washington, who had his first touchdown of his career last week against San Diego. Right there, came across, or against Cincinnati, came across wide open. Philip Rivers standing patiently and strong in that pocket, finds him.
Back to the run, not a whole lot, out to about the 45-yard line of the Chargers goes Ryan Matthews, getting a lot of work. He's already carried the ball 9 times in this game. Limited yards. First quarter winding down and out. They'll get one more play in. The Chargers go to an eye set in the backfield. Marino on the sideline as he watches the other first rounder of the Chargers, Matthews, come out of the backfield. Completed one to himself. And Rivers is on the run. Have you ever done that, Steve, in your 17 years in the league?
Not unassisted to myself, no. I've had a few batted balls over my experience, but nothing where I've ever thrown it and completed it to myself untouched. Who says this guy's not an athlete?
Trick play. Back to Denver, where Jason Elam, now retired, a terrific kicker for so many years for the Broncos. Look at that. Almost 1,800 points.
He was about as automatic as they come during his prime. I was here for 3 years with Jason. Of course, he tied Tom Dempsey's 63-yard field goal, the longest field goal in NFL history. But what a great kicker for so many years. They love him here in Denver.
Now 37 for Rivers. Broncos bringing a lot of guys up. They come with 4. What a throw, man. First down, Chargers, down to the 35-yard line. And another Charger is down. Nate Jones was covering on the play, made the tackle. Vince Jackson had to receive it. So while the injured
Marcus Thomas down.
Defensive end is tended to, there's a break in the action. Don Craigie with Steve Berline back at Denver. Marcus Thomas just left the field with an apparent leg injury. Defensive end for the Broncos. Now it's 1st and 10 for the Chargers, down by 7. Rivers brings a receiver back. So max protection, looking for blitzers. They come with 4. Another open receiver. And again, it's Vincent Jackson. I had a chance, Steve, before the game to spend a lot of time with one of the greatest Chargers of them all, Hall of Famer Charlie Joyner, their receivers coach. He absolutely extols Vincent Jackson. Said every way you can measure a receiver, this guy, he studies the game, he can run, he can catch everything. He said when he's in our lineup, we're a much better team.
Imagine how this offense would have been, what heights it would have reached with him as part of the season.
Matthews finds a gap. He's not done. He's going in. Ryan Matthews, touchdown Chargers.
And a late flag might have been a face mask at the end, but that is what the San Diego Chargers have been waiting to see from Ryan Matthews all year. Stepping up, and you know that there has been
Personal foul, grasping the face mask on the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Touchdown.
Well, if there has been an Achilles heel of the Denver Broncos defense, an obvious one, they've got a bunch of them, but over 7, that's a 78th play this year of over 20 yards.
Yeah, that's
the worst in the NFL right there, right up the middle. They give up a lot of big runs and big passes. Ryan Matthews happy to take part of that one right there.
Ryan Dawkins, the guy who got the face mask. Extra point is up and good by Kading. So the Chargers come right back. It's a tie game, 7-7. Chargers kick off and we come back to Denver. A 27-yard touchdown run by Ryan Matthews. And the Chargers have tied the game, and now on the personal foul call on Dawkins on an attempted tackle. Face mask. Chargers kick off from their 45.
You saw Ryan Matthews there with what apparently was a bloody nose as a result of that Brian Dawkins face mask.
Scoreboard changing around the NFL on this 17th Sunday. Let's go to James Brown in New York.
Hey, Don, Jacksonville needs a win and an Indy loss in order to make it to the postseason, but find themselves down by 10 after Derek Ward takes it 35 yards to pay dirt. That makes it 17-7. Houston in the second. Meanwhile, Indy nursing a field goal lead over Tennessee, 6-3. Back to Don Craigie and Steve Berline.
Well, I think, JB, Jacksonville's got an uphill battle without David Garrard and Maurice Jones-Drew. Very, very stacked deck against them today. I put my money on Peyton Manning, too, almost every time in a situation like this.
Not bad in those situations. Here's Lance Ball. Runs for the Broncos to the 24. Snapped by Quentin Jammer. Tebow, he's talking to Mike McCoy before the game, his offensive coordinator. He said the guy thrives on challenges. He lives to win.
And I'll tell you, when you talk to him, you just see how motivated he gets when you doubt anything about him. How it truly does motivate him to prove you wrong.
And one characteristic of his leadership, the team rallies around him. They all buy into it. He's changed this team in the last 2 weeks. His second start. Long ball, receivers there. It's off target. Penalty markers down. Brandon Lloyd was the intended receiver. A big rush put on.
Holding, number 78, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's big Ryan Clady, number 78. They got called on the holding. You see him right there, top of your screen. He's stepping out to try and take away. Yeah, definitely took off the head right there of Antoine Barnes, defensive end for the Chargers. Ryan Clady, one of only 5 offensive tackles to be named All-Pro first team by his second year in the NFL. Pretty impressive player right there. Just got beat. Even the best get beat once in a while, Don.
In this league, Eric Weddle had pressure on with a safety blitz on that play. Now they go back to the run, and Buckhalter runs it. He had 2 key touchdowns against Houston in the come-from-behind win last week for the Broncos. Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Warren Sapp, and Phil Simms come your way on cable's longest-running show. Multi-award winning Inside the NFL every Wednesday on Showtime.
They'll be talking a lot of playoff football next week.
They'll be playing it.
We'll be coming into it, exactly right.
3rd and 13. Debo standing in. Incomplete. Caught out of bounds. Lloyd, he's really targeting Lloyd, maybe locking in a little bit.
Well, locking in a little bit right there. That was a little bit late, and that's gonna happen with the young quarterback. You saw him holding that ball in the pocket, just kind of waiting, and turns out by the time he let it go, Brandon Lloyd was open, but that ball didn't get to him until it was already out of bounds. That's just reps and confidence and knowing exactly where your receiver is going to be and trusting the timing of the whole thing.
Chargers going to get good field position here as Brandon Colquitt will punt. Kaysen is back. A 14-yard punt return earlier. It's from the 31. Got another one. Out to midfield, 19-yard return. Slow starts, the nemesis of Norv Turner's Chargers.
Yeah, you look at what happened in 07, 1-3, they lost in the AFC Championship. 08, 4-8, lost in the divisional, and then last year, 2-3 start. They win 11 straight to get to 13-3, and then lose in the first round. And then this year, of course, a 2-5 start, no playoffs.
Yeah, he said it was too deep a hole. 2-5, we couldn't come back from it. Last year, they won 11 straight games to close the regular season and make the playoffs, win the division. Trying to check down, good deep play by the lineman who slaps it down. Justin Bannon got a piece of it.
We talked to Norv. We asked him why the slow start. You look at that fact right there. The only team since 1970 to finish in the top 3 in total offense and total defense and miss the playoffs. But Norv Turner said, we documented the special teams problems. They had a lot of key fumbles by their young running backs in the red zone early, and they just never could get out of the hole. Those were key things that happened.
Now they go back to Matthews. He lost the ball. He talked about rookie fumbles. This time it looks like the Chargers kept it. I tell you, when you talk football, though, with Norv Turner, it's like a professor, like a tutorial.
It's like a clinic, isn't it? You learn something, and of all the coaches I played for, and I had the privilege of playing for Norv Turner with the Dallas Cowboys for a couple of years back in the early 90s. Right here we see the one thing he did talk about with Ryan Matthews, he gets a little bit loose with that football, but Norv Turner knows how to put players in position to make plays, as well as any coach in the game, and he'll find a way to hurt you if you give him enough time.
We'll do that. Here's a long ball off the back foot. A diving attempt at the ball, and the penalty marker comes in. The play is live. It's a catch. And the Chargers look phenomenal at this point.
Oh, tremendous.
Floyd catches it.
Tremendous throw and catch right there.
41 yards.
I think it was Parrish Cox going to be called for holding up the field on that play.
Yeah, the 26.
What a tremendous effort there by Malcolm Floyd to stretch out and pull that ball in.
Pass interference, number 32, defense. That penalty's declined.
Look at this. Great release there by Malcolm Floyd. He's been fighting hamstring problems.
Look
but
at
you
that.
can see right there, Parrish Cox grabbed the left arm. Malcolm Floyd says basically, I got one more arm to make the play. That
We could see a red flag.
we could
Like it
see
hit the
one.
ground.
That ball may have touched the ground.
Apparently not. First and goal, Chargers. Sproles takes it right at the Bronco defense. Gets a couple. Talked to Darren before the game. Said his being undersized has motivated him his whole life in every sport he's played.
And I'll tell you, get this guy in space, no one better. But the one thing the Chargers are missing this week, which they've had all year, is Mike Tolbert, who's been their go-to guy down here in the red zone. 11 touchdowns this year. It hurt him last week. He got hurt with the neck injury. And Ryan Matthews had a chance to score, but wasn't able to take it in.
Second and goal. Roll out Rivers. Does well to get out of the pocket and throw the ball away. The heat coming from nose tackle Ronald Fields, 91.
Smart play by Phillip Rivers. Crowd wanting intentional grounding, but I believe Phillip Rivers is well outside the tackle box.
Penalty markers down late. Walt Coleman, our referee.
And maybe the ball didn't get close enough to the line of scrimmage.
Intentional grounding, number 17. Offense did not get the ball back to the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Loss of down at the spot of the foul. Third down.
That's just a mistake by Phillip Rivers. I think a great job getting rid of the ball. You see the pressure up the field right away by Ronald Fields, and Phillip Rivers he had the opportunity to get that ball closer to the line of scrimmage. I think he just miscalculated where the line of scrimmage was. He's smoking right now. He's very upset. And I don't blame him, to be honest with you. I mean, it definitely was not up near the line of scrimmage, but he's running away trying to get the ball out of there, well outside the tackle box.
Well, it's under discussion.
Well, you're going to see the tackle box basically is right up here, just outside that 10-yard line, or outside the hash mark, and you'll see Phillip Rivers is well outside of that when he gets rid of the ball. It's just a matter of whether he gets that ball up to the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage was the 4-yard line, and the ball bounced just about the 10-yard line, so you're talking, 6 yards, if my math is correct. So that was well behind the line of scrimmage. Hard to make a case for that.
Invariably, your math is correct. You've done it again. It's now third and goal from the 20. 4 wide receivers run patterns. Rivers has to eat the ball. Another sack for the Broncos. Vickerson, 99.
I'll tell you, in these third down situations, Denver has really been playing well. Eric Studesville right there has got to be happy with what's going on. Last week, Houston held 1 for 8 in third downs, and the week before that, 2 of 11 against Oakland. And you saw Kevin Vickerson right there making the play that time. Phillip Rivers wise to get down and protect the field goal opportunity.
You see Nate Kading's numbers. I talked to Nate on the field about the altitude. He said you get 3 or 4 more yards, but the big thing you get is an attitude boost because you know you're going to get some help. He breaks the tie. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Broncos came into this game with 18 sacks in 15 games. Steve, they have 3 already today.
They have found something, and San Diego, not a team that gives up a lot of sacks. And they throw the ball a lot. Only 33 sacks on the season coming into it.
Eric Decker, a rookie wide receiver and a good kick returner, runs it out close to the 30.
The legend of Tim Tebow coming from Florida, great. He's wonderful with the kids. Look at that one lucky kid. Catches the football right there. And then the introduction, the fans show their support for him, and his payback early in the game was the touchdown pass to Brandon Lloyd. There definitely is this phenomena of Tebow mania here in Denver. It's taken this town by storm. The fans believe in him. They want something to believe in big time. question is whether he's going to be able to fill those expectations.
They've only won one playoff game in Denver since the Elway era. Tebow, I mean, he creates traffic jams when he makes appearances.
He does. He does. And everywhere you go in this town, that's what people want to know. Once they find out, you know, from my personal experience, once they find out that I am an analyst for the NFL on CBS and a former quarterback, they want to know, what do you see in Tim Tebow? Well, I was encouraged last week by what we saw in the Houston game. I saw some things that led me to believe that he can maybe just play this position at this level and play it well.
Ready to throw. Makes the rush. Tebow took a pretty good shot there, Steve. Coming up to hit him was Applewhite.
Yeah, that was a shot right there. You see the mobility of Tim Tebow right there to get outside, and that was Applewhite with the pressure. And I'll tell you, right in the chops there. That was a good hit by Kevin Burnett, laying out Tim Tebow. But a good job getting rid of the football.
Got to get
making the play.
Well, that'll make it 3rd down and 8. Tebow in trouble, and his throw is off target to the 34-yard line. Daniel Graham, the tight end, was in the area, but not close. So the Chargers will get it back.
You know, one of the things Tim Tebow told us going into this week, going into this game, one of the things he wanted to do better was find his checkdowns right there. He was a little bit late getting to Daniel Graham. Daniel Graham was his checkdown safety valve, whatever you want to call it. But as a young quarterback, that is the hardest thing to figure out, is to know where your safety valve is. If things break down up the field, you got to get rid of the football. A little slow getting to Graham on that one.
The punt hit downfield. Antoine Cason, and it's down by the Broncos at about the 17-yard line. 51-yard punt, all net yardage, no return. Ringing the new year with a new episode of TV's #1 new drama, Hawaii Five-0, on an all-new Monday night here on CBS. Here comes Rivers. Rivers said during the week that he blames himself for every loss. He takes everyone personally. Here's a guy as good as he is, one of the 2 top-rated passer ratings of all time. Right now, Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers has the other. A lot of schools recruited him out of high school as a tight end. Not many teams wanted him. Not schools wanted him.
Well, he found a home at NC State, and he's found a home in San Diego.
North Turner wasn't kidding when he said he's going to run Matthews. 11 carries for 52 yards, including a 24-yard touchdown run.
You see him being preoccupied with keeping those 2 arms on the ball right there. He saw the blue and orange unis sitting there waiting for him. He didn't want to give any opportunity for that ball to come out. We've seen a couple plays already where the ball got a little loose on Ryan Matthews. He knows if he wants to play at this level, he's got to show his coach he can hang on to the football.
He is the heir to the LaDainian Tomlinson position. He's going to be the go-to guy, and another terrific open field tackle. Ryan Matthews taken down by Andre Goodman.
Nice open field tackle by Andre Goodman. But what you're going to see, though, out of this San Diego Chargers offense as the offseason develops and unfolds, and it's under pretty confident terms that we can state that North Turner seems as though he's going to be back next year.
He's going to be back.
He told us yesterday when you get Mike Tolbert, Ryan Matthews, and Darren Sproles in your backfield, you got a lot of different things you can do. A lot of weapons.
We got everything, just slow starts. It hurt him. Here is the ball downfield and a beautiful catch. Boy, you talk about big league football. 26-yard gain on the play.
That was Vincent Jackson. He's staying down on the ground. Might have got his foot caught up in the ground there. What a tremendously athletic play that was, though, going up and getting the football. You can't coach this, Don. I mean, look at him just go up and take this ball away from Parrish Cox. And you saw his feet got a little tangled up there as he came back down on the ground. That left foot right there, I think, is what kind of jammed into the ground. A little bit awkward. He seemed to be holding that left knee, but he's up and off the field now.
Vincent, a native of Colorado Springs. He played for the Northern Colorado Bears as a collegiate.
What body control, though, to come down with that football.
When he walks in a room, he looks like a big tight end. And he can run. Long ball. Floyd, good coverage. Andre Goodman going with him stride for stride.
Well, that was Philip Rivers just saying, I want to make a statement, try and get the ball to Malcolm Floyd. But Philip Rivers told us one of the things he was most excited about coming into this game was that for the first time this year, he was going to have his 3 top receivers, Vincent Jackson, Malcolm Floyd, Legadou Nene, right there, number 11, on the field at the same time. It had not happened this year up until this point.
Got him today, and it's 2nd and 10. Chargers holding to a 3-point lead. They've scored the last 10 points of the game. Ryan Matthews struck hard by Wesley Woodyard.
And the Chargers today also minus a very significant number 85, Antonio Gates, who've been fighting injuries all year. The foot problem, torn plantar fascia. Right there you see Philip Rivers. Most in the NFL, 17 different players have caught a pass this year to this point. That is unheard of.
Isn't it amazing? 11 for touchdowns.
74 players. You see Antonio Gates right there. 74 different players have played in the Chargers uniform this year.
They've made 104 roster moves. Rivers. Oh, this guy he's like Fouts out there. 17 yards.
You see Randy McMichael right there, who's been a great addition, spilling in for Antonio Gates. You're going to see he just falls into the soft spot out to the sideline. Right out over here, you're going to see him. Philip Rivers buys the time, finds him sitting there for the easy throw and catch. And you know, Philip Rivers may not be the most athletic quarterback at this level, but what he does have is great pocket presence, the ability to buy some extra time, work the pocket, and make the throw like he did right there.
Makes the throws all over, as Vincent Jackson told us. In our offense, the ball goes everywhere. Check down. Wilson with the catch.
And Parrish Cox minus a helmet. Chris Wilson, 6'2", 245. Look at this hit. About twice the size of Parrish Cox.
Again, just straight ahead power running, ball on the field. Chargers have it. How about the Titans and the Colts? Here's James Brown.
All right, and we're taking a look at the Colts trying to take care of their own business to clinch the AFC South. Peyton Manning to Reggie Wayne, 7-yard strike. That puts Indy up 13-6. They win. They clinch the AFC South. The Jaguars trying to keep their hopes alive, trailing the Texans by 7 that late in the second. Don Criqui, Steve Berline.
Thank you, JB. Bill Cowher talking on the pregame show today about Manning getting his offense back. When he gets in, look out for the playoffs.
Dominic Rhodes stepping up late for them, giving them what they need in that running game.
End zone ball, receiver fell, inadvertent trip. Legadou Nene was the target, but he went down.
And Norv Turner asking for the pass interference, but you're going to see it definitely, as you said, Don, inadvertent. You saw Parrish Cox. He was beat. He was looking back inside. Got his feet tangled up with Legadou Nene. I think Nene would have been wide open because you saw Cox already looking back inside for the post pattern. Unfortunate for San Diego because that would have been a gimme touchdown.
And now Kading will try to hit from 45. Standing kicker. A lot on it. Right on time. So the Chargers, down 7-0 early, have scored 13 straight points. Thought the fantasy season was over. It's not. Play NFL.com playoff challenge today. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 46 in Indianapolis. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy or search NFL Playoff Challenge. Don Criqui with Steve Berline. Kading now has put up 7 points today for the Chargers in their 13-7 lead.
You saw Ryan Matthews right there. I guarantee you that he knows that Norv Turner, the worst thing he can do is put that ball on the ground one more time. He's got to show that he can be the man, 20-plus carries, and hang on to that football. Very fortunate not to lose it that last drive.
Well, these NFL players are so good at stripping it. I mean, they work on it all the time.
They're incredibly talented at doing that. And we're told that Vincent Jackson on that great acrobatic catch, which we're going to get to look at one more time. What incredible body control. Look at that left foot when it hits the ground right there. Jams it in the ground. We're told he has a sprained ankle. That left ankle is sprained. His return is questionable. You can see right there grabbing the ankle. But to twist your foot like that, come down with that kind of impact, yet still squeeze that football and finish the play. That's pretty impressive.
Remarkable. 1st and 10. Play fake. Check down to the running back. Lance Ball, and he's out to the 26. Got about 6 yards. In the long season for the Denver Broncos, the sun finally broke through last week with Tebow, and he's keeping it going today.
You see in their one touchdown drive, 6 plays, 40 yards. The 4 other drives, not a whole lot to be excited about. 14 total yards. But you're right, Don. That second half last year really picked up this town.
Boy, beautiful run by Lance Ball. Both arms on the ball, the second year back from Maryland. 17 yards, and the Broncos are coming back now.
That was a great run right there by Ball. This is the #2 ranked run defense in the NFL. You don't see a lot of plays ripped off like that against this San Diego Chargers defense, but you're going to see a good counter play with Zane Beadles, the rookie second-round draft choice who started 13 games this year leading the way. Lance Ball hitting that hole and making the Chargers pay for not being disciplined on defense.
On the cap, got 17 yards out of reverse. Look at that play by the Chargers. That's how you got to have the #1 defense, at least yardage allowed.
Well, we were kind of tipped off to this play as a possibility. I think that was actually going to be
Sean Phillips makes the play.
An opportunity for Brandon Lloyd to maybe throw the ball up the field. You're going to see Jabbar Gaffney right here running up the field. That's who was going to be possibly on the receiving end of a pass from Brandon Lloyd, but we didn't get to witness it.
It'll be 2nd and 28 when we come back. Steve Erline, Tim Tebow had a timeout to talk over things with his coaches. What do you think you're counseling about there?
Well, 2nd 28, very, very difficult down and distance. Tim Tebow's got to understand, if you are going to throw the ball, you got to be really smart with the football. I would expect a quarterback draw or screen back, something along those lines. But if you do throw it, you can't try and get it all back and force it in there. You got to be patient, take what's there. There's the quarterback draw.
It is indeed. He gets Sam out to the 32. Good block by Beadles at left guard. And that head on the stop. So with 1:53 to play in the first half, and the Chargers in the lead, there's a timeout on the field.
That's our first team timeout.
We're back to Denver, 3rd and 21 for the Broncos from their 31.
We'll see another timeout here by the Chargers right away. Fans a little bit upset. They want to see Tim Tebow throw a pass.
Team timeout. San Diego, 30-second timeout.
But Mike McCoy doing the right thing, running the football there. You definitely don't want to put Tebow in a position where he might throw the ball to the other team. And on the last play, the quarterback draw, you know, Tim is a very tough young kid, a lot of confidence as a running back when he's running that football. But I'll tell you, those kind of hits right there, Don, they take a toll. I don't care how tough you are. At some point,
in Florida. He was hurt a lot in Florida.
Yeah, I think that those hits, the way he ran the football at Florida, definitely takes a toll on his body long term.
He never missed a start, though.
No.
Colquitt to punt. Back for the Chargers is Kasan. Low liner. Works out very well for the Broncos. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
Well, we get to see one of the best there is in the NFL. Phillip Rivers right now run the 2-minute offense. I think in this situation, week 17, nothing to play for. You're sitting there with a 13-7 lead, nothing to play for in terms of playoffs and things like that. I think Norv Turner will allow Phillip Rivers to be aggressive and try and get something out of this drive.
Well, he's been launching. He's been looking for the deep hit, and he's gotten some. Chargers with 13 straight points to come from behind. Sproles getting low, weaving into the defense. He got 10. Might be just about a foot short of a first down.
You know, it's amazing to me how in the 2-minute situation, almost every team starts with a screen pass or a draw play, but they always seem to work. Good 10-yard pickup to start the drive there.
Vincent Jackson twisted an ankle. His return, we're told, is questionable. Nene, rising player at wide receiver. Out of Boise State, Dawkins gets him down. First down for the Chargers.
You see how decisive Phillip Rivers is right there. No wasted time. Knows where everybody is. Gets the play out and the ball snapped.
Blitz. Boy, that's as good as you can play football.
It makes it look easy, doesn't he? And that's experience. You know, he's in his 5th year as a starter. We talked to him yesterday.
Floyd's the guy here.
And you see the ball. He reads it cleanly, clearly, puts the ball right on the money on the sideline, stops the clock. But he told us yesterday that, you know, you look at everything this year, it may be his best year ever individually, but then he looks at it and thinks about where the team is. He ranks it as his 5th best year because they didn't make the playoffs.
He says in his gut, it wasn't a great year. He didn't get there. First 2 years he played behind Drew Brees, so he's really been a starter for 5 years.
Right there, good coverage on the outside by Parrish Cox. I believe that was a designed rollout. Try and get the ball, move the pocket a little bit outside, but good coverage by Parrish Cox on Legadou Dene. You can see Nate Kading's target line there, the 39-yard line. That'd be a 57-yard kick. At altitude. You got to give yourself a few extra, as you stated earlier, Don.
He said maybe 4 extra yards with altitude. But he likes the mental boost knowing you have that. Second and 10. Crossing Pentner. Big hit put on Floyd. Striking him was Andre Goodman.
I'll tell you what, that hurt Malcolm Floyd right there. I know he got back up and he's getting back in that huddle, but I guarantee you that rib shot by Andre Goodman hurt. Look at this, timed perfectly, right in that rib cage.
Ooh. These guys all wear less and less padding. No, almost nobody wears thigh pads anymore.
TJ, which way you going?
Hip pads. You needed rib pads there.
3rd and 10.
Blitzers align. They come with 3 and drop 8. How good is this guy?
He's pretty good.
You played the position 17 years in the NFL.
Yeah, he's about as good as he. That was a Jiro Tutu on the outside, another one of their good, young, rookie wide receivers.
The fake spike, the old Dan Marino play against the Jets.
Yeah, you don't see it very often. I love the creativity. You know, played well on the outside by Goodman. Watch Rivers fake the spike. Oh, but the only problem is his linemen fake like they were blocking. They didn't block anybody. Mario Hagan had a free run to him.
23 seconds left, first half.
So they're in field goal range. 1 timeout left for San Diego.
All out blitz, they pick it up. Rivers fires. Incomplete at the 23. Nene with the target.
Well, Don, you had that exactly right. They did come with the all-out blitz. You had one-on-one coverage on the outside all the way across the board. Really, Norv Turner, I'm sure, kicking himself for the play call. They had it blocked up, but he would have loved to have had a chance at somebody up the field because it was picked up. Very difficult for a defensive back to hold up when a blitz is coming and it's picked up.
One timeout left for the Chargers. 18 seconds to play in the first half.
Here they come again, Don.
Indeed they do. Incomplete at the 15. Big rush by Dawkins, coming as a safety blitzer.
I'll tell you, you think this game doesn't mean anything to Phillip Rivers? You think it's meaningless? That pass right there, he wanted to complete that ball. Look at this. Look at this reaction. He wanted that completion badly.
As he told us, Steve, if we win this, we're 9-7. Not great, but it's a winning year. 47-yarder on the way by Kading. Boy, he put a charge into that, and he hits again. Nate Kading has scored 10 of the 16 points. And the Chargers have scored 16 unanswered points since their early touchdown by the Broncos. Steve, how about some coaching changes? A lot are said to be in discussion.
Well, there's a lot more than the ones we can show you right here, but these are 5 of the more obvious ones that are going to be very interesting to see who actually survives and who doesn't. You know, the long run of Jeff Fisher at Tennessee, a lot of pressure with the situation with Vince Young and how that's all unfolded out there. Eric Mangini, the optimism coming into this season and the way that they finished up a very poor performance today again against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Eric Studesville, when we talked to him, he told us that Mr. Bolin promised him a definite opportunity to interview and state his case for the job, for the position.
Well, you know, the big news here, though, is the greatest Bronco of them all, John Elway. It's the Denver Post today. It was absolutely certain he's coming back this week to run the team.
It just has not yet been confirmed by the organization, but everybody speculates that is going to happen sometime this week.
Eric Decker takes it out to the 25-yard line. Another interesting fact about Elway, it is reported he's going to the Orange Bowl to watch that game.
And who's playing in that game?
Well, Jim Harbaugh and the Stanford Cardinal.
Interesting, yes.
He's an honorary captain. John Elway for the Cardinal.
Yep, honorary captain for the Orange Bowl. A lot of speculation that he may have a little conversation with Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, we asked Gary Kubiak last week what he knew about it. He said, I don't know what Elway was going to do if he goes to the Broncos, but I'll guarantee you one thing, he'll succeed at it. That's the end of the first half with the San Diego Chargers in the lead 16-7. We'll be back with a Sprint halftime report. After this message and a word from your local station, you're watching the NFL on CBS. At the half, the Chargers lead the Broncos 16-7. Don Criqui with Steve Berline. Phillip Rivers a threat to throw for 400 on any Sunday afternoon. He's halfway there, Steve, 204.
Oh, he's got it warmed up. Early in the game, a little bit of concern for Norv Turner and the San Diego Chargers. They were not able to pick up the blitzes, the pressures from Denver. Uncharacteristic, 3 sacks given up by San Diego. But once Phillip Rivers figured it out, the second quarter, Denver only had 24 total yards, San Diego well over 200. So Denver needs to turn the tide here pretty quick if they want to get back in this game.
A lot of big plays, some really great ones. We're going to take a look at one right now. A look at the Droid Pro Play presented by Motorola.
Wow, great throw from Phillip Rivers. Tremendous athletic, acrobatic catch by Vincent Jackson, but came down on his left ankle, twisted a little bit, sprained his ankle. His return is questionable. We have not seen him back in the game since that tremendous catch. But we have seen Phillip Rivers get more and more comfortable as that first half went along.
Broncos will get the ball to start the second half. They scored early in the game, took a lead, but Rivers and the commanding offense of the Chargers then took over the game and has built this 16-7 lead. Here's Eric Decker. He's broken a 51-yarder this year, a rookie. He's after the 22. Here we go, Steve. We'll look at the halftime stats.
Well, started out, Denver had some momentum, got the early touchdown pass, but boy, I'll tell you, look at that time of possession, exactly 2-1 total yards. Look at that right there, that discrepancy right there between those two. Quite a difference, and we're going to see if Tim Tebow has any second-half magic in him like he did last week, bringing his Broncos back from a 17-point deficit. He better get it going here pretty quick.
Worked magic last week. That's pretty magical. They're not done. Tremendous run by Noshan Moreno. That's how he became a 12th pick in the first round 2 years ago out of Georgia. 35 yards.
San Diego came out a little bit sluggish in the first half to start this game, and right now, first play of the second half, they give a little bit of excitement to the Bronco faithful here. A couple of missed tackles, and Noshan Moreno takes it down the sideline.
Another run, nothing, a loss of a yard. Sean Phillips with a hard hit. How about the Colts and the Titans? More on that. Here's JB.
Hey, Don, Tennessee not lying down at all against Indy. Take a look here out of the shotgun. It's Kerry Collins hooking up with Kenny Britt. 21-yard strike on 3rd and 4th. That ties it up at 13. And Jacksonville needs a win and an Indy loss. But right now it's Houston nursing a 3-point lead there. Don and Steve.
All right, JB. Here's a throw and a pick. The Chargers pick it off. Quentin Jammer, the former #1 draft choice out of Texas in his 9th year. And he victimizes the rookie Tim Tebow with a terrific play. So the Chargers have the ball when we come back to Denver. See, the Chargers got up to speed on their last 4 possessions, a touchdown and 3 cading field goals to take this lead, and now the pick by Jammer of Tebow. And Rivers going back to work for the first time in the second half. Matthews runs.
Let's go back and look at that interception. You're going to see, bottom of your screen, Demaryius Thomas running a skinny post. Now, Tim Tebow, this ball has to be up before Demaryius Thomas comes out of his break. You see Tim Tebow waits a little bit too long. He hesitates. That allows Quentin Jammer to come underneath and intercept that ball. You see that a lot of times with young quarterbacks. They want to see it happen before they feel confident throwing, and that's when you pay the price in the NFL. You cannot wait. It's got to be up. You got to trust it.
Here's an all-out blitz. Rivers gets it away. I tell you, I marvel at this guy.
Well, that's a great example right there. Don, that was exactly what Phillip Rivers did. That was Corey Sperry with the catch on the sideline. Look how quick this ball is up. That ball was up before Corey Sperry even thought about coming out of his break. Phillip Rivers knew where his guy had to be. He had the confidence. He's seen it. He's had the reps. No hesitation. That ball was up and out. And I'll tell you what, amazingly, that ball was accurate on the money.
Sperry, a product of Colorado State, and he's from Pueblo, Colorado. That's a big game for him. There's a long ball downfield. It comes in low, and it's caught. Play is live. The officials are running with it. That's the best way to tell if it's a live play. When the officials are running, you better tackle.
Well, I think Andre Goodman thought he had some kind of contact with him on the ground. We're going to look and make sure it definitely was a catch. Oh, yeah, nice catch by Nane. Keep control of that football. And then great instinct to get up and run, pick up an extra 8 to 10 yards right there after the catch.
Chargers drive on. Rivers again, a lot of time. That's dangerous. Down to the 13-yard line.
You know, we've talked about it. You know, we were harping on how confident and how good Phillip Rivers is, but let's talk about why these plays are coming up. Right there, a 16-yard gain. North Turner making the adjustments at halftime. This team has come out knowing exactly what they wanted to do on this drive. Okay, here's what they've been doing. This is what we're going to do. You see the quarterback comparison.
Legadou Nane on the receiving end on the stop pattern. And the Chargers threatening to go in for their second touchdown of this day. They have won so far in 3 field goals. Matthews keeps on hitting, takes it in. 2 TDs today on the ground for Ryan Matthews. The first from 24, this from 12. And a big block from the Pro Bowler, Dealman at left guard, Chris Dealman.
What a drive right there by the Chargers. They came out on a mission to take control of this football game all the way across the board. And you're right, there's the big block by Dealman. Luis Vasquez came around on a nice pole as well. Created that initial hole, that initial opportunity for Matthews to get up in there.
Now the point after by Katie. Up and good. The possession set up on a terrific play by Quentin Jammer.
Well, I'll tell you, Don, an interception, a turnover, a lot of times in the NFL leads the points the other way.
This is the 103rd meeting of the Chargers and the Broncos. And the Chargers have taken command. Up now 23-7. Nate Kading ready to kick off. Tebow, the guy that they say won't take no for an answer when it comes to winning a game. He's got his work cut out here, Steve.
Sure does. This is a very good Chargers defense he's going up against this second half. Not the Houston Texans like last week.
Eric Decker runs it back. Rookie from Minnesota. And Tebow comes out with the Broncos offense. Norv Turner said he's never been involved in a meaningless football game, and they've taken this one seriously after trailing early.
Yeah, he knew that they had to come out and make a statement on this game. Let people know that they have the opportunity to be great next year.
Tebow runs out of bounds. Almost a late hit.
Very, very close to a late hit. I believe that was Antoine Applewhite and Antonio Garay chasing him down on the sideline there. And that shove by Applewhite late there.
Antonio Garay, he told us last night he weighs 335 pounds. He can run.
He was moving there, sticking with Tebow.
And also bench 545 pounds, 5 reps.
What a tremendous story that guy has. Really playing at a Pro Bowl level.
Great kid. Great to see him do well. Here is penalty marker down as Tebow goes down back at the 15-yard line. There's a very similar pattern to the first meeting this season as Garay. They're going to call him a personal foul or see his haircut. That's the work of Sergio at Fresh Up in San Diego.
Number 78.
How about Tennessee and Indianapolis? Once again, James Brown.
All right, Don, Indy doing its best to clinch the AFC South with the win. Take a look here. Peyton Manning up top, drops it in the basket to Pierre Garçon. 30-yard strike. Indy retakes the lead, 2013, over Tennessee in the third. Back to Don and Steve.
And here at Denver, a 3rd and 22 is coming up as this Charger team has taken over the game.
And this is when they're dangerous. You know, they lead the league in sacks, 44.
Tebow looks. Trouble coming. Gets away from it. Throws across the field and gets it out to the 30-yard line. He 4th down at about 6.
I'll tell you what, you've got to be impressed with that. Just that natural ability. There are not many people that could extend the play this long. Several opportunities to be nailed back there in the backfield. Right there, you got 3 guys chasing him. Here comes the 4th. We'll bounce it out there. And then number 5, he still gets a throw off on the money. A nice pickup, but not enough for the first down.
You gave him some good advice, Steve, on how to play in cold weather.
You know what? I just told him if you've never played in it before, he said he's maybe seen snow 5 times prior to coming to Denver. He had to get out and throw that cold football because it's different.
Going to play catch with his brother. Look at this. Antoine Cason. 1 man to beat. Finally, somebody gets him from behind. As the Chargers look like a team that should be in the Super Bowl.
Well, they've got
in the playoffs.
They've got that train rolling right now. Kaysen with the spectacular punt return off the Colquitt punt. He had room. That's the key, Don. You know it. If you've got room to catch the ball and then look up the field to see where the seams are, you have a much greater chance of success. Right there, Kaysen, plenty of time to find the seam and then make some people miss in the open field.
49-yard punt. And then by Kaysen, a 61-yard return.
And there's Steve Crosby. Not a lot to be excited about this year, but that right there, very positive play.
Broncos come hitting on Ryan Matthews. They continue to work Matthews now. He's up to 16 carries for 69 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Look at that little run right there. Their last 5 possessions. A field goal sandwich between 2 touchdowns. A lot of yards. Boy, 76, 56, 54, 71. North Turner's found his rhythm. I would expect him to be aggressive. He likes to take a shot at the end zone after a big play turnover.
Blitzers come. Throw to the end zone. Broken up. Malcolm Floyd was the target. Andre Goodman was defending. We asked Norv Turner last night, can Phillip Rivers get better? And he shouted, absolutely.
Absolutely. He's in his 5th year as a starter. Right here, a great throw. You would think Malcolm Floyd, a full 4 or 5 inches taller than Andre Goodman, would come down with this ball. That's what Phillip Rivers was hoping for. But as you said, you know, Norv Turner said this guy's going to continue to get better. He knows he would like to see Malcolm Floyd come down with that ball. But Phillip Rivers is right in his prime right now.
He coached Troy Aikman as well as you, Steve. I asked him how he compared him to Aikman. Rivers, he didn't want to do that. Different players, he said. Look at that. Touch. Now they rule he's out.
I don't think that left foot got down, Don.
Got to get them both in. Malcolm Floyd got his hands on the ball. Well, they're going after Goodman.
Definitely a clean catch, but just watch the left foot. All right, the right foot is down right there. The left foot comes out of bounds. And a great sellout, stretching out to reach that ball, but just couldn't get over. I'll tell you, the thing about him, he doesn't ever get tired of scoring touchdowns. Not that any coaches do, but Norv, he really enjoys lighting up that scoreboard.
Nate Kading said it's a mental boost to play it mile high because you're getting some help on distance, and he booms through another. He's 4 for 4 on field goals. 8:31 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Chargers have scored 26 unanswered points after trailing 7-0. And they're ready to kick off again. Here's Nate Kading. He's hit 4 for 4. Field goal attempts, and from the 2 yards deep, it's Cassius Vaughn. 8 to the 20. Gets a gap. Penalty markers thrown. There'll be a blocking foul against the Broncos on the return. Good looking return, though.
Very nice return.
46 yards.
During the return, holding, number 17, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Britt Davis is the guilty party. A new team takes the field tomorrow morning on CBS. Start your day with Erica Hill, Chris Raggy, Jeff Glor, Marisol Castro. On the early show beginning tomorrow, right here on CBS. There are no Chris Raggy. He was a good receiver at New Hampshire.
He was.
Yeah. He was.
Well, we were talking about how we've been singing the praise of the Chargers offense. Look at that. That's depressing stuff if you're a Denver Broncos fan. Not a lot of good to get excited about.
Buckholder gets the carry. Guy had 2 key touchdowns in the comeback win last week. And a catch, 1 on a run.
Don, we've talked about Ron Rivera, you know, and a little bit in this game, and how his defense has been so well prepared each week. #1 in total defense, #1 in sacks, just producing every single week. And he said it's because they have the philosophy they need 11 guys on the field, making 1 play at a time. Just know your job. No starting Pro Bowlers on the #1 defense in the NFL.
No, not fair. 2 alternates. Ron Rivera, his name is going to be discussed a lot of places as the head coach.
We got some punches thrown out there in the field right now.
Could have some ejections here. A loss of decorum here in his 104th meeting that the Broncos lead overall 54 wins to 47 for the Chargers, one tie. And San Diego's won 7 of the last 9 against Denver.
Well, we saw a nice little slugfest there between Ryan Harris, the right tackle for Denver, and Brandon Lang for San Diego.
Order is restored. Probably a few guys.
Yeah, there was a lot of action out there. But you were right, though, Don, talking about Ron Rivera. I do believe that he's a guy whose name is going to surface in a couple of these openings out there. He's a very respected guy.
There are fouls on both teams. Personal foul, the offense. Personal foul on the defense. Those penalties offset. It'll be 3rd down.
Much ado about nothing.
Yeah, well, you're going to see Ryan Harris right here tied up with Brandon Lang. The two of them, after Brandon Lang did not like getting driven into the ground right there, and then Ryan Harris laying on top of him as a good offensive lineman should. And then you see the fisticuffs that break out. And you're right, Don, that was a good right cross zone, and sometimes that is a situation where you could see an ejection.
One of the flags is still down.
Yep.
Pick it up, man. 3rd and 9 for Tebow and the Broncos. Good throw. 1st down. Brandon Lloyd. 13 yards on 3rd and 9.
Well, Don, that's one of those flashes that you want to see out of Tim Tebow. We've talked about it many times the last couple of weeks. He's got to be able to stand in the pocket, deliver the ball up the field on time and accurately. Right there, that's a tough throw, that deep comeback to the outside, but it was right on the money.
Excuse me? Only the 2nd catch, Steve, for the NFL's yardage leader in receptions, Lloyd. 2 for 27 today. Marino running, a stop by Paul Oliver.
And you mentioned that for Lloyd, you know, the one big touchdown early in the game. Depending on his overall production today, striving to become the NFL's yardage leader for the first time in the history of Bronco, has a chance to do that.
Tebow under center, looks over the middle of the field, lofts the ball, incomplete. Big game, particularly for the Packers. Bears are already in at the number 2 seed in the NFC. Let's go to James Brown.
Packers win and they're in, but on 3rd and goal for the Packers, Tommy Harris of the Bears sacks Aaron Rodgers, so the Packers have to settle for a field goal to tie it at 3-all. Meanwhile, the Giants can clinch a playoff spot with a Packers loss. Giants miss a 39-yard field goal, but maintain a 10-point lead over the Skins. Don Criqui, Steve Berline.
Hey, JB. Aaron Rodgers getting sacked, but he and Rivers are now the 2 highest-rated passers careers in NFL history. Tebow, he likes this, 245 pounds. He'll knock people over, and he gets out of bounds. 30 yards later.
You know, Don, we had an extensive conversation with Tim Tebow about that right there. His instinct is not to run out of bounds. His instinct is to lower the shoulder and try and run over a safety, but I think this is a great decision. The sooner he learns to do this on a more regular basis, all trying to run over Antoine Cason, number 20, there would have done, maybe pick up an extra yard or 2 at the end of the play. It opens yourself up to take a shot going. You don't need to take your team needs you on the field. Get out of bounds.
Nowhere to go. Scoreboard continues to change. Back to JB.
Tennessee hanging in there against Indy. Take a look here on 2nd and 7. It's Kerry Collins hooking up with running back Chris Johnson. 15 yards of pay dirt. It's all knotted in Indy at 20 apiece. Colts looking to clinch the AFC South with the win. All right, back to Don and Steve.
And back here in Denver, we have a 2nd down and 11 coming up for Tebow and the Broncos. Play fake, looking deep, takes it himself. Got another 1st down. Jacksonville and Houston are going at it hard. There's James.
Jacksonville needs a win and a Indy loss, but Houston not making it easy on Jacksonville. Houston's Matt Schaub hooking up with Owen Daniels, capping a 10-play, 97-yard drive and a 10-point Houston lead start of the 4th. Back to Don and Steve.
And probably, Steve, almost certain Kubiak's back as coach, right?
It looks that way, and I think that's the right decision. That team is very, very close. Another team with high expectations, but they're very close to being an elite team.
Tebow with his 6th rush. He's gained 65 yards doing it. Putting a 30-yarder in this drive.
Oh, that is the element that he brings, no doubt about it. You know, the Broncos have struggled since the opening drive. They took it in for a touchdown on their 2nd drive of the game, but then not having success through the air or getting the running game going. Let's try something different. Tim Tebow taking it upon himself to carry the rock and pick up some big yards on this drive. Got 3 wide receivers split out left.
Oh, catch. 1st down and goal from the 6-yard line. Buckhalter, the catch and run. 15 yards.
And you'll see Eric Weddle on the tackle. Nice design to this shovel pass. That's all that was, Don. A little shovel pass or an inside screen. You can call it what you will, but Correll Buckhalter told us that this was a new little wrinkle they put in. He told us on Friday that they had a little wrinkle, that little inside screen shovel type deal, and it worked well for them.
This is the 11th play of the drive. Throw to the end zone. Touchdown Broncos. Terrific fake, but Moreno is down. He's getting up there, he's all right. He was blocking on the play. Touchdown is a great fake, and the rookie Ed Decker's on the payoff end.
Well, that was rookie to rookie. Eric Decker, the 3rd-round draft choice on the receiving end. Boy, nice hard play action fake, and Eric Weddle steps up. Decker slips behind him, and Tebow on the money on time.
Decker with his 1st career touchdown. Extra point is good. All right, Huska. Chargers 26, Broncos 14. Denver kicks off when we come back. Tebow to Decker, and the Broncos have their 1st touchdown since late in the 1st quarter. And they're inching back. 3:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Tebow on the phone. What are they talking about there?
Well, they're just saying, you know what, good job. Way to get us back in the game now. Here's what we're going to do next. Got to focus on what's coming next.
Coming right now is Darren Sproles. Out to the 23. You can build your own football dynasty and compete year-round with CBSSports.com franchise football. Find out more at CBSSports.com/franchise. What about Rivers now? Does he keep firing away or try to run some clock?
Well, I know Norv Turner well enough to know that no matter what the situation, he wants to stay aggressive. He does not want to get complacent on offense. They will run the football, but you'll see some good hard play action out there as well.
Rivers has thrown for 263 today in yardage. Has not thrown a touchdown pass. And he sure won't on that play as the pocket collapses. Williams coming from the middle backer position on the blitz. Now has 4.5 sacks this year.
There weren't many options for Phillip Rivers on that play, but the pressure got to him pretty quick as well. Not any blitz going on or anything on this play, just a straight 4-man rush. Ryan Matthews chopping DJ Williams, but not quite effective enough. DJ Williams, the one who got back up and made the sack.
There was a loss of 2. Second and 12. Look at here's Denver really getting the sack numbers up. They had only 18 in the first 15 games. 4 today. Penalty marker thrown by the referee. As Ryan Matthews runs.
Holding, number 66, offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Jeremy Clary, the right tackle on the play. You're going to see number 66 right there. You can see from this thing, he's got talk about a little horse collar right there. He let him go, but I'll tell you, that was there was nobody that had a better view of that play than Walt Coleman throwing that flag right behind him.
And a great replay by our CBS crew as now it's second down and 22. Draw play. Look at Sproles. What a rocket out of the backfield. Little big man. 27 yards on second and 22 and a first down.
Well, you know, Don, Sproles was tagged as the franchise player this year by the San Diego Chargers. They're paying him a lot of money. A lot of people wondering how you can justify that kind of money to a return guy and a guy who touches the ball, you know, less than 20 times a game. But that's why right there. Second 22 backed up in your own end zone. Now you got a big first down in good field position.
Huge one out to the 37. Matthews again, 17th carry.
Don, that was the Chargers' 5th play of 20 or more yards. And we talked about the Broncos defense coming into this game. They'd given up 77 plays of 20 or more yards. They're staying right on their pace right there. You see that number. What's one thing all those teams have in common?
They're playing golf next week. Right?
They're playing golf next week. Not a lot of winning records. The Seahawks, of course, if they can beat the Rams, will find themselves in the playoffs.
Rivers under center. Middle backer blitz. But I'll tell you, some of this is magnificent.
Well,
Nane makes the catch. Legadou Nane. 28 yards.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, though. You know, still aggressive, still attacking. You've got a quarterback who's going to make good decisions. He's not going to make the bad decision very often. He's going to hurt you when the opportunity's there. He's going to check it down when it's not. Right there, a great example. And Norv Turner told us, coming to the end of the third quarter here, but Norv Turner told us there were some things that he felt were unsound in Don Martindale's defensive schemes. Maybe we're exploiting those right now.
Chargers lead 26-14. We'll return after a message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Receiver Vincent Jackson's been out since the second quarter, tweaking an ankle. Played well, 3 catches for 53. And where will he be next year?
Well, that's a big question. I know Norv Turner, Phillip Rivers, and all the guys on that football team would love to have him back next year. It's just a matter of whether he's willing to make a deal.
Ryan Matthews, both arms down the ball, takes it to the 35-yard line of the Broncos as we open the fourth quarter. Don Criqui with Steve Berline in Vesco Field, Mile High Stadium. And Norv Turner and his Chargers looking to finish 9-7. The guy who says he's never been in a meaningless football game. And they're playing like everything's on the line, and so are the Broncos.
You see the Chargers right about their average right now rushing. Through 3/4 of this game, though. They still got 15 minutes left.
Blitz. Rivers gets it away. And luckily for him, he wasn't picked. As DJ Williams, the middle backer, came fast.
DJ Williams has been very active today. He can play inside, he can play outside, he can play right, left. Right there, he just runs right past. Not exactly sure who it was that he ran past, but Phillip Rivers paid the price for it. A little bit of a careless throw there, though, by Phillip Rivers. Lucky that it did end up in the wrong hands.
Third down and 10 now for the Chargers. They spread the field. 2 wide to the left, 2 to the right. Sproles comes out of the backfield. Fastball broken up at the 20. Now decision time. You try to kick a 57-yarder. It'll be a 52-yarder.
I don't think there's any doubt up here, as you stated many times, Don, in Denver. And right there, good play by Andre Goodman. Timing that strip right on time. You see, if that ball were played any differently, that would have been a catch, because it was going to end up right between the 8 and the 0 on Malcolm Floyd's chest.
And where the hold will be, it'll be 53-yard attempt by Kading, who's been perfect today. Long enough.
He missed it right, Don, I think.
No good. Broncos take over the ball early in the 4th quarter. San Diego 26, Denver 14. Long field goal try, 53 yards by Kading, misses. Tebow goes back on offense with his Broncos.
He had a little bit of rhythm the last drive. We'll see if he can keep it going here.
And a throw. Oh, he's going to run. He gets 5 out to the 48-yard line.
Nice tackle by Brandon Seiler there to keep it from being a big play, but last drive, Mr. Tebow took it into his own hands. A big run here, big run there. What does that all do? Well, you know what? He can run it inside, he can run it outside, but it sets you up for the fake run and the touchdown pass over the top to Eric Decker. He shows he can hurt you with his feet. The safeties have to come up to support. You make him pay over the top with a touchdown pass.
Eric Decker with his first NFL touchdown. Now Tebow, who specialized in bringing his team from behind his whole career, called run play, close to a first down. He's close to the 47. They might have to measure.
This is kind of taking on the shape of the Florida Gators offense right here. Empty the backfield and run it straight ahead between the tackles.
He's just short.
You know, Don, what
71
happens?
is an eligible receiver. 71 is eligible.
What happens, Don, though, as defensive coordinators start to see the style of play, they can start locking in on what they want to do with you. Ooh, he didn't get it.
I don't think he did.
That was a great tackle by Antoine Applewhite. Penetration in the backfield.
That was 3rd and 1. He didn't get there.
Oh, I don't have any doubt that Denver's going to go for this, but look at this right there. Applewhite just swallowed Lance ball up there. Well, they're going to punt.
They're going to punt the ball.
Tebow's still out there, though. This is a fake punt.
Chargers do the right thing from their standpoint. Call a timeout.
Very smart.
First team timeout.
There was momentary chaos on the gridiron. 4th and 2 for the Broncos at the 49-yard line of the Chargers. Tebow, is he going to run it off a rollout?
I think he's going to run it up in there. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
They're sure playing run. They're almost at the goal line the way they jam their tackles. What he's doing.
He didn't get it.
Oh, no.
He did not get it.
Some happy Chargers leave the field. They made the stop on 4th down.
Yep.
Kevin Burnett, the lead tackler.
They're going to probably measure this one just to be safe, but I don't think there's any doubt. I think it, at least by the length of a football, short, according to where it looks to be spotted right now.
Walt Coleman overseeing the proceedings here. But from our vantage point, it certainly seems like he's short.
Yeah, and that's a play where you could almost take it to the bank when Tim Tebow was playing in college. But as we all know, this is a different ball game at this level.
Chargers now have the ball and the lead. Back to Denver. Don Criqui with Steve Berline. The Broncos allow just over 29 points a game. That's 31st in the NFL. And not getting there on 4th and 2 and turning the ball over the Philip Rivers-led Chargers. Giving him the short field, Steve. Not a recipe for success.
No, that is not a recipe for success.
First down run by Ryan Matthews.
Well, Don, you can't say enough about the job this Chargers defense has done all year, led by Ron Rivera, giving up just under 20 points a game, and their offense scoring over 25 points a game, actually over 27 points a game. Their point differential is plus 114. Do you know that that's the second time since 1990, or the second highest point differential since 1990 for a team that missed the playoffs? 114 more points than they've given up.
Nice check down throw, and Randy McMichael, who Philip Rivers told us has been a big part of this offense, blocking primarily.
He is not Antonio Gates. That's well established, but Philip Rivers considers Randy McMichael to be a tremendous asset to this offense, and if they didn't have him, he felt like this offense would not be half. And there's Antonio Gates laughing on the sideline, but if they didn't have Randy McMichael stepping up and making the impact that he has, this offense would not have been nearly as good as it has been.
Number 2 offense in the NFL is how good it is. Now it's the Broncos having to line up. Can they make a third down stop?
Second team timeout. San Diego. 30-second timeout.
Heading into today, here is the projected draft order next April, presuming there is a draft then.
Yeah, you see the Carolina Panthers have locked up that number 1 spot for sure. Denver looks like they're going to be picking number 2. And you can see the rest of it kind of plays itself out down there through the top 10 picks. You know, from my vantage point, you know, it's pretty obvious that the Broncos need some defensive help. Whoever the new coach is going to be, that's going to be a very high priority for them.
Well, that pass rusher from Clemson might be the best.
I think you might be 100% right.
3rd and 2. First down for the Chargers. A throw to Kelly Washington.
And pretty darn good coverage on that play. Even though the pass was completed, it just shows you how quick that ball gets out of Philip Rivers' hands and on the money. Didn't matter how good the coverage was. Philip Rivers sticks it right in there.
Rivers for the day has hit 20 of 36 throws, 298 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. But here's Chargers are in the lead 26-14. I tell you, Norv Turner wasn't kidding when he said Ryan Matthews is going to get a long look today.
He's gotten a good workload today. But let's go back and revisit that draft situation. You mentioned the pass rusher out of Clemson. Yeah, Daquan Bowers. Now, assuming that Andrew Luck is going to come out, the Carolina Panthers might take him. That would leave Daquan Bowers as the logical choice for the Denver Broncos to pick up. He has been absolutely worshipped in the praise they give him as a defensive end.
More power football on a 2nd down and 5 carry down to the 31-yard line. I know the Bills are very high on Nakamura, the cornerback from Nebraska. Bills pick 4th right now.
When we look down the rest of that list, you got some really good defensive backs. Patrick Peterson out of LSU. You mentioned the Nakamura. Nick Fairley, the big defensive tackle out of Auburn. A lot of these guys now, we're assuming they're going to come out. You see a lot of juniors on that list. Eric Studesville just hoping that he can be a part of it from the Denver Broncos perspective.
Here's another 3rd and 2 for the Chargers with a 26-14 lead. Good stop by the Broncos. And Katie will come out again.
That was just really good, solid penetration right there, holding the ground. And then John, Brian Dawkins coming off the edge. You saw number 20 come slashing in there from the side right there to finish it off. But Mario Hagan and company all right in there. You saw Justin Bannon, everybody doing their job and holding ground. It looks like North Turner might decide to go for this one right here.
He is. He's sending in a heavy package.
Now the question is, are they going to go for it? Are they going to try and draw Denver offside? But we're going to get a timeout first.
Third and final team timeout.
So to be sure they do the right thing, the Chargers call a timeout. 4th and 1. Power package in for the Chargers.
Don't be surprised if San Diego goes up top here.
Pitch, stretch run, turning the corner. Matthews gets there, and he's not done inside the 5. He steps in, and that could be the knockout punch. Wow. Big block by Nene.
And pure individual effort on the outside. That was Robert Ayers who had the angle on him, and you're basically saying on that play, Don, that defensive end is unblocked. You're hoping that he hesitates for a second. The action is going one way, the back stutters that way and turns and goes the other way. You're betting that your back is going to beat him to the edge. And Ryan Matthews just confirmed that bet right there.
Well, on 4th and 1, they get a 31-yard touchdown run, the 3rd touchdown of this day for the first-year player, Ryan Matthews.
Look at this right here. You're going to see Robert Ayers. Looks like he's got the angle to run down Ryan Matthews on that play. He's got the edge, and he tries. Boy, look at that. That's that right arm right there that just knocked off Ayers' right arm, allowed him to get to the edge, and the rest is history.
Ayers not yet a highly productive #1 draft choice.
No.
He was 2 years ago the first pick.
He's not been what they've hoped to this point. Good effort on that play, though. He did not get fooled by the play, just was beaten to the edge by a little bit quicker man. That's the first 100-yard game for Ryan Matthews. 114 yards and 3 touchdowns on 23 carries today. And that's something that's going to definitely put a smile on North Turner's face. Getting some confidence for this kid going into the offseason.
Chargers won the November 22nd game at Qualcomm, 35-14. They lead this one 33-14. Eric Decker is back deep along with Cassius Vaughn as Kading will kick off.
You know, as you looked at Phillip Rivers and company over there on the sidelines, Don, this is a team that lost 5 games this year to teams with losing records. Seattle, St. Louis, Cincinnati, and twice to Oakland. Phillip Rivers said if you lose to Oakland twice, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Right. Vaughn turns the corner. Goodbye. Cassius Vaughn's going to go the distance. No flags. 96 yards.
That's how quickly it can turn in the NFL. Crosby right there, boy, I'll tell you, that's the 5th kick return for a touchdown this year. That is not what he needed to see. And I'll tell you what else, at the end of this run, the last guy he beats is the kicker. Watch the effort Nate Kading makes to make this tackle. Little jump slide, didn't quite get it done. That was too easy for Cassius Vaughn.
Yeah, nobody laid a glove on him.
No, not even close. No, Don, unfortunately, you've got to assume with this glaring a weakness and how disappointing that special teams have been for San Diego all year, you have to assume that that is going to be addressed in the offseason.
5 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
5 punt blocks. Looks like Kading has a little baseball in his background. Probably not too proud of the effort himself.
He's not in that business, though, is he?
No, he's not. He's not. If you're counting on him to make the tackle in that situation, one-on-one with a player the caliber of Cassius Vaughn in the open field, no chance.
What is the reason all these? I mean, are they just out of alignment?
You know, I think early in the season, one of the things that when you talk to North Turner about it, it was personnel. They felt like they had a few personnel issues on their final roster. They had several key injuries that made them play people who were not as experienced as they would have liked them to be in certain situations, and they've addressed those issues according to what we've been told, and brought some veteran players in specifically to fill those holes in special teams. And there's Steve Crosby looking at the picture.
I remember Steve when he was a running back for the Giants.
Well, he's a proven NFL special teams coach.
He's had a good career.
No doubt about it.
Now a line drive kick. Sproles. Here come the hitters. Sproles beats him. Look at Darren Sproles. That's why he gets the big bucks. 41-yard return. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the Chargers and the Broncos. I'm Don Criqui along with Steve Berline. Our score, San Diego up 33-21. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after the game, except on the West Coast. Will be seen at its regularly scheduled time.
Sproles hobbling off the field there a little bit. Boy, is he explosive or what, though? When he gets that ball, his acceleration, he gets those wheels spinning, it is hard to stop.
So Phillip Rivers gets good field position again. His team leading 33-21. Matthews again. All day long.
Great play by Mario Hagan, crashing from the outside. You can see him coming off the top of your screen there. Just beats inside, beats Chris Wilson inside and closes that gap with Ryan Matthews. That's a very poor effort by Chris Wilson, if you ask me. No attempt to fire out and seal the inside. That's his only responsibility in that play.
Robert Ayers coming off, 56. Second down. Matthews today, 24 carries, 116 yards, and 3 touchdowns. There's the blitz. And it arrives before Phillip Rivers can release. Wesley Woodyard, 59.
Now, Phillip Rivers throwing up his arms as if, you know, we don't have an answer for that, coach. What are we going to do here? You know,
when a guy that valuable, you better put a fullback in and play a middle blitz.
Well, you know, you've got to have an answer, and that's one thing that it looked again to me like Chris Wilson, number 88, the tight end, was late getting over to pick up Wesley Woodyard right at the gut. And I don't know the protection schemes well enough to know exactly that that was his fault, but it seemed like he just missed the block again.
3rd and 18. Check down, Sproles putting on moves, works it out to the 49-yard line. But it's short of the first down. Got 15 on the play. Punt team comes out for the Chargers.
Now the only thing, Don, that North Turner and Steve Crosby are asking out of Mike Cyphers here is do not kick the ball in the end zone. He's done it twice already today. The altitude is a little bit different. We'd rather have that ball come down at the 15-yard line than have it come down in the end zone.
It's never easy in this league. Looked like the Chargers had him closed out. Not the case.
Oh, my goodness.
Cyphers gets the ball away somehow.
Well, got a flag down because of the muff on Cyphers' part. It's going to be an illegal man downfield, I'm sure. That was just Steve Crosby saying, what else can go wrong? I mean, that was a good snap right through Cyphers' hands. If I'm Denver, I'd decline the penalty.
Ineligible downfield prior to the kick, number 47 of the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the play, first down.
Yeah, it's Denver's ball. It's assessed at the end of the play. And you can see this ball hits him pretty much right in the face, it's right there. I mean, it's head level. You know, maybe 6 inches higher than absolutely perfect, but no excuse to not make that catch. Don't tell me it's too high, Mike Cyphers. You can make that catch in your sleep. 8-year vet.
Well, now the plot thickens, and Mr. Tebow back in business on the offensive side. He gets time. Throws it away. Does the right thing. Good coverage by the Chargers. Nowhere to go.
And good effort by the Chargers up front, Don. You talk about the good coverage up the field, no doubt about it. But also those big boys up front trying to keep in the vision of Tim Tebow so he doesn't even think about tucking the ball. There you see the Houston-Jacksonville score at the bottom. That loss by Jacksonville guarantees Indianapolis a spot in the postseason.
And the guys in the studio think, particularly Bill Cowher, they're going to be hard to beat.
Well, I think so too. As we see a nice break on the ball by Kaysen, but if Indianapolis does find a way to win their ball game, that gives them the number 3 seed because Kansas City lost today. If Indianapolis loses the game, they will stay just as it is right there, but Kansas City and Indianapolis would flip if Indianapolis wins their ball game against Tennessee.
Right now, Tebow and the Broncos looking to get something going. Incomplete.
Every time I see that number 87 in the Denver Broncos uniform, I think of my old buddy Ed McCaffrey, legendary figure here in Bronco history. But right there, Eric Decker, the rookie, 3rd-round draft choice. Not a perfect pass from Tim Tebow, but you got to make that catch. Going forward on 4th and 8 here.
They need 2 scores, down 33-21 with 4:46 to play. There's Ron Rivera, defensive coordinator of the Chargers. Will he send anybody? They come with 4, drop 7 to cover. Lloyd makes the play. Antoine Kaysen lost him.
Well, on the season, San Diego had only given up 44% on 4th down. 11 of 25 have been successful right there. Kaysen in perfect position. He just had no idea that ball would be thrown. He said no one would throw that ball into here. I'm standing right here.
Tebow fitted into that small window they talk about in this league. Tebow takes it down to the 42-yard line of the Chargers. Burnett gets him down. Well, that was a tight fit, that completed pass.
It really was. And Eric Studesville knows, hey, it ain't over till it's over. He's done a tremendous job with this football team. You talk to everybody in the organization, they have been absolutely raving about how well he's handled this situation.
They have. His team is still in. Here's Tebow looking to carry. He's got a problem. Forward yardage that he's just short of the 1st down. He had to get down to the 39. They're going to mark him just about the 40. So the clock runs with 3:50 to play.
Don, Studesville told us a story on Friday about how he found out he was going to be the head coach. Josh McDaniels got fired. He came in, had a staff meeting, told the coaches the situation, and Studesville went down to his office and sat there and started contemplating the future, trying to figure out who to make a phone call to, and all of a sudden he got a knock on the door. We'll talk about it after this play by Tebow.
3rd and short. Tebow looks, throws, passes it in. 4th down.
Looked like
4th and 1.
Looked like Tim's arm might have gotten hit on that throw. They'll go for it again for sure. Kevin Burnett got the tip on the arm. It looks like right as he's getting ready to throw the football, you see that right there. That left arm came out. But Studesville, to finish that story, he got a knock on the door from Joe Ellis, Mr. Boland's right-hand man, and said, Mr. Boland wants to see you. As soon as Eric Studesville walked in, he was stressed out, didn't know what was going on. And
Tebow does it with his legs. Tebow does it with his legs on 4th and 1. He was hit. But there is a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. Chargers side are all pointing at the Broncos.
That was sheer determination on Tim Tebow's part. He was stopped.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 men moving and not resetting. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, that hurts right there. Tim Tebow took a shot. Looked like he got up a little wobbly. The shot from Brandon Seiler, number 59, right there in the middle of your screen. You see that boom, head-to-head contact, but he's a ball carrier. That's okay.
Like Brian Cushing told us last week, the outside linebacker for the Texans, when we see a quarterback run, everybody on the defense's eyes light up.
That's exactly right.
4th down. Here's the throw. Chargers take over the ball. Incomplete.
Broken up nicely by Antoine Case and breaking on that football. And that about wraps it up for San Diego, although a lot can happen still. But boy, what a nice play.
To go. There's a lot can happen.
A lot of football left to play. But to finish up that story on Studesville,
yeah,
he walks in and he's not sure whether Mr. Bowen's telling him he's going to be fired himself or what's going on. First thing Mr. Bowen said to him was, relax. You're not going to be fired. I want to talk to you about something. And immediately the tension was lifted and Eric was presented with this opportunity and he's embraced it. And
he's been a very highly regarded assistant coach for 14 years. Studesville. Matthews again. He's really protecting that ball now. Guy with 3 touchdown runs today.
First team timeout, Denver. 30-second timeout.
Well, we're seeing a big part of the maturation of Ryan Matthews here, stepping up and answering the bell, answering the call. And we see right there, look at that final. Green Bay over Chicago. Green Bay is in. That eliminates the Giants and eliminates Tampa Bay. Both of them needed Green Bay to lose. There you see the NFC playoff race. That last question that needs to be decided is St. Louis, Seattle. They're playing tonight. We'll have that answer. Win and you're in.
Yeah, the winner of that wins the division. 2nd down and 5. No yards. That's all right with the Chargers. Clock runs down to 3 minutes to play. Now another timeout.
Team timeout.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a
30-second timeout.
Great job by Ryan Matthews to hang on to this football. Justin Bannon came in untouched, and Matthews was looking right at it as he's getting ready to get the handoff from Phillip Rivers. Super job of just securing that football and not coughing it up. What kind of day has it been for Ryan Matthews? Well, pretty darn good. The big touchdown run, first score for the Chargers today, earlier, and then follows it up with his 2nd and 3rd touchdowns of the day. That would be on the season. His 7th touch. He has now 7 touchdowns on the season. All of those career highs today.
Yeah, they were looking for a big game and they got it from their top draft choice. Sproles run, and the final timeout was allotted to the Broncos.
I'll tell you what, Don, Justin Bannon came flying through there again and almost disrupted that handoff to Sproles that time.
Yeah, he was in there quick.
The final team timeout. Denver, 30-second timeout.
Here's the AFC pictures. The Colts have won, and they again win their division. Baltimore and the Jets will go in as wild cards. Jets.
And I don't know whether there's really much difference between being the 3 and the 4 seed. You know, either way, you're going to have one of those two teams coming at you. They're both very similar football teams with young quarterbacks. The Jets are going to be going to Indianapolis and Baltimore going to Kansas City. If you would have flipped 3 and 4, it would have been just the opposite. But I don't know who you prefer to play if you're Indianapolis. I don't know if you prefer to play the Jets. Their defense has been struggling a little bit lately, or the Ravens. I don't know which one to pick.
And the Colts have been getting better now. A punt. Cypher's ready to hit the ball. 33-21, 2:57 to play. Chargers in the lead. An end-over-end punt, beautifully placed. Directional kick from Mendes.
That was perfect.
Broncos get it at their 8-yard line. 40-yard punt, but a perfect punt. There's Antonio Garay, the free agent nose tackle who has played just great football for the Chargers.
Yeah, we told him we'd give him a shout out. You mentioned earlier, but his barber Sergio from the Fresh Up Barber Shop out there in San Diego, he is becoming very well known for his hairstyles out there. He said, how much time did he say he spends?
A couple of hours. The dyeing takes about an hour, and the cutting. He just tells Sergio, whatever you got, go to town. Every week he's got something new.
Yeah, free pass. You be creative.
It's a catch. And a first down for the Broncos with 2:43 left to play.
Well, this is valuable experience for Tim Tebow any way you look at it. The 2-minute offense backed up in his own end zone. He's going to get a chance to really see and learn what it takes to execute the ball down the field against a prevent defense, but a very good defense in San Diego.
Down by 12, no timeouts left. Goes on the run. Another snag, beautifully done. Out to the 40, another first down. 17-yard gain.
Gain of 17. Well, you know, what are your thoughts on Tim Tebow today, Don? What do you think?
Well, I think what you have been pointing out, you know, there's certainly there's got to be more work on his passing accuracy. You can see what one of the premier players in the league, Rivers, is like when he throws the ball. It's phenomenal most of the time. But Tebow has that, the French call je ne sais quoi, I don't know what, but it's a tremendous ability to lead. He is a guy that inspires the people around him.
And I don't see him as ever, even if he proves he can play at this level consistently, I don't see him ever as being a guy that is going to throw for 60+%, complete 60+% of his passes. All of his games this year, he's been in that 50 to 55% range, which I think will hold true for him for most of his career. But he makes plays with his feet, and he does have the ability to keep his composure and make plays in the passing game too. But as we've stated many times the last couple of weeks, you've got to do it from in the pocket under pressure.
Tough to sack. He does it again. A strike to Decker. Another first down.
He is fun to watch, isn't he?
Boy, I tell you, he's box office.
And there is no quit in him whatsoever. You know, you just wonder over the course of a 16-game season, can he continue to play that style? Is he still going to have that juice in his legs?
And Mike McCoy said before the game, it's going to be a very important offseason. He can make the tremendous strides, Tebow, in the offseason program. Pro Bowl bound Brandon Lloyd of the Broncos, the NFL yardage receiving leader. What a year.
It is official. And he's only the second person to ever get to that 1,300-yard mark in his 8th season. As we see Tebow take off one more time, but a little bit of look at that boy trying to make a statement.
And the ball was on the field, I think.
Yeah, that's Antoine Applewhite trying to send a message to Tim Tebow. If you're going to keep running this ball, the clock does keep ticking. But Brandon
timeouts.
Brandon Lloyd, second player ever to do that, Don. Over 1,300 yards at this point in his career. Brett Perriman with the Detroit Lions was the other person to do that.
He has been with Chicago, Washington, and San Francisco, Lloyd. As you said, Steve, he found a home here and gave the Broncos a great year.
Let's look at this, what happened on that last play. You see Applewhite just trying to get that ball out of there, trying to strip it out. Another great example, though, of Tim Tebow not getting caught up in it. He's an incredibly competitive guy, but he also has a maturity about him as far as his overall decision-making, both on and off the football field, that really attracts people to him.
As a freshman in high school, the coach told him you're going to be a tight end and a linebacker. He said, I'm going to be a quarterback. He said, no, not here. Changed schools. Became a first-team high school All-American, high school player of the year. Went to Florida, Quarterback 2 national championship teams. Won the Heisman Trophy as a sophomore. Nobody done that before. Was a Heisman finalist 3 straight years.
What a story.
And now he is here. They call him a draft mistake by the Broncos. You get the feeling 15 years from now, we're going to have his name up in lights here.
Well, we'll see. A lot needs to be determined between now and then. Again, I'm a fan. I'm just still not 100% convinced that he's going to be that guy, but you should want to root for him.
Heading for the 12th man. He goes out of bounds, stops the clock with 1:03 to play.
And this is another thing, though, Don, that he'll need to learn with experience. He's trying to make plays. He's running around. He's trying to pick up yards. The effort is there, but the understanding is not. In this situation, your team needs to move the ball up the field quickly. You might need to take some chances putting the ball in there into tight spaces in the passing game. You're not going to be able to run the ball all the way down the field yourself. You got to make some good, strong throws in chunks.
He's looking for a chunk here. He's got a chunk down to the 6-yard line.
There you go.
The clock runs down to 50 seconds to play.
They get up and spike this thing real quick, catch your breath, and get a good play call. Well, he did a good job of not flushing from the pocket, and his instinct is always in that situation to kind of start moving, but you could see him fighting it, trying to stand in the pocket, and he delivered a nice pass to Daniel Graham for a good pickup.
It's a terrific play, and look at him now. He's 88 rushing yards. But the end zone is the object. He's got to get him in, get an onside kick, the Broncos do. And who knows? Good coverage by the Chargers. Nowhere to go. He throws into row A. 32 seconds left.
And you saw Eric Studesville. He was halfway on the field. You know, you're buying time trying to make a play, but you don't have time to buy right now. It's not there. Throw it away. If you're not going to run it, try and make a play. Throw it away. You're letting time just run off the clock. And Studesville, you see, he was out on the field waving. Come on, get rid of the football. Throw it away.
This is what you call extending the play. You don't want to extend it, right?
Exactly right.
3rd and goal from the 6. Tebow going to take it himself. 26 seconds left. It's not over.
Well, Don, what can you say about this guy? That's his 3rd consecutive game with a rushing touchdown. First time I believe it's ever been done that in a quarterback's first 3 starts, he's taken it in himself for a touchdown. It happened 2 times prior. Jake Delhomme and Eric Hipple were 2 quarterbacks that in their first 2 starts ran for touchdowns. I don't think anybody's done it 3 times in a row.
Extra point is up and good. It's a 33-28 game. Chargers, the big thing they have to do now is recover the onside kick or take possession of it, and they run the clock out. Broncos can't stop the clock.
Cannot stop the clock. And we've got...
Here's the scheduling, Steve, for next Sunday on CBS. The Ravens at Kansas City.
And that's going to, I'll tell you, that's going to be a nice matchup. Good rushing defense against the #1 rusher in the NFL, Jamal Charles for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be a nice matchup. Two teams that really have made the jump to the elite this year, that really feel like they belong. Todd Haley's done a great job down there in Kansas City. And then John Harbaugh, of course, doing a super job in Baltimore. Joe Flacco getting better and better at quarterback. You got a sense, though, that their defense, with the age on that defense, with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and all these guys that have made them so dominant over the years, that they're gonna need to do it now if they're ever gonna do it.
And now the troubled special teams of the Chargers put to the test. They've got to take possession of this onside kick attempt. Chip shot. Live ball.
Denver says they got it.
Officials say otherwise.
No, they say
it is. The Broncos do have it, yes.
And no time run off the clock. How does that happen? that should have been at least 4 or 5 seconds. As soon as that ball was contacted, he's trying to get those seconds
They get it.
off.
Absolutely, they got it.
Boy, Steve Crosby, you know what? What can you say? You can't help but feel bad for him. I mean, they were in perfect position. The ball was timed perfectly. Let's see who that was that went up there to make the catch. That's Malcolm Floyd that had 2 hands on that ball and just coughed it up.
Denver recovered the ball.
You're going to see, look, there's no,
Please
watch
reset
that.
the clock to 23 seconds, please. 23 seconds. Ball was legally touched and the clock should have started.
What?
First down, Denver.
That tremendous hit by Vakune, linebacker, that freed the ball up. So now Tim Tebow has a chance, but he's got to work miracles here.
I'll tell you what, though, you almost have the sense that it's meant to be, right?
23 seconds left, no timeouts.
They need a touchdown.
Checks down, gets to the sideline, and he does. Buckhalter with the catch and run.
I don't know what 6 yards does for you right there. You know, 6 yards.
It's better than no yards.
It is. You're trying to get it just in range. Number one, just in range to reach the end zone with a Hail Mary. You got no timeout, so you can't really. Now with 16 seconds, if you make any significant yards up the field, you will not be able to get over the ball and clock it because your big boys are going to have to get up there and get set. So you got to work the sideline. Maybe you decide to take 2 shots at the end zone. I don't know if Tim Tebow can throw it 65 yards.
Long ball's coming, and Brandon Lloyd's going to be the target. There's the long ball. There's Lloyd. Whoa, man. You're going to see one more just like that.
We are. They had the
seconds
tip.
left.
They had the tip. They had a chance at it.
What a great league, huh?
Yeah, and you're going to see right there, number 88, Demaryius Thomas, is the short man. He's sitting, and his job is to stay in front of the ball and have the ball maybe tipped back to him. Studesville, he knew he had a chance.
All right, now, the Chargers have more outfielders there than the Padres. Here is the 3rd down throw, the last play of the game. It's all the way down to the end zone. It is finally over on the desperation heave. Tebow gets him close, but the Chargers prevail. What an ending. North Turner's ready for an offseason. Final score, San Diego 33, Denver 28. Coming up next, 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of CSI Miami and Undercover Boss. Then another CSI Miami. Now for Steve Berline, this is Don Criqui saying so long from Denver, where we had another thriller in this 104th meeting between these two teams. The Chargers prevail. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.